All right, guys. So the thesis of this video is that money talks and everything else is just BS, okay? And people are going to find that out when it comes to this Elon Musk situation and him taking over Twitter and his promise to make Twitter a more free speech friendly platform. This is something I've been telling people basically every single time I make a video about Elon Musk taking over Twitter and the possibility of banned accounts like Trump coming back and others, and it being a more free speech friendly platform for conservatives. People got to understand, man, the money is what drives everything, okay? And I'm going to show you guys that that's exactly what is going on, at least in the short term, okay, in regards to Elon Musk and his decisions regarding content moderation on the platform, because Elon Musk is being accused of folding, right? But first, before I get into the negative stuff, right, and setting proper expectations for Elon Musk in regards to censorship, there are some positive things that he's doing on this front, okay? Like, for example, we have the situation with Mark Finchin, who is running for Secretary of State in Arizona, and he makes claims about the election that the left doesn't like, right? And his account was suspended for whatever reason, okay? And essentially, he asked Elon Musk to restore. A bunch of people asked Elon Musk to look into it, and apparently that is what he did, okay? Elon Musk looked into it and restored Mark Finchin's account. Again, that's obviously a great thing, right? And I think that this type of stuff that you will see, you know, kind of some of these one-off situations where you have prominent politicians that are being suspended for no reason, that do get restored after a woke employee that's still employed at the company goes rogue, right? But I think that Elon Musk is trying to tone down on these types of suspensions. What we also have here, which is absolutely hilarious, is a fact check of the White House, which is something that has been happening quite a bit on Twitter, even to left-wing politicians like Joe Biden, right? Like Twitter fact check Joe Biden, which is something that Democrats have advocated for. However, this fact check is so epic. And the reason why is because finally the fact checkers are calling out the misinformation that's being spread by the left. Okay, it doesn't seem to be as one-sided as it was, as the White House basically deleted its tweet after Twitter placed a fact check disclaimer on it, right? In which the White House tweeted, "Seniors are getting the biggest increase in their Social Security checks in 10 years through President Biden's leadership." Yeah, so the White House put that out. And then Twitter fact checked them and said, quote, "Seniors will receive a large Social Security benefit increase due to the annual cost of living adjustment, which is based on the inflation rate. President Nixon in 1972 signed into law automatic benefit adjustments tied to the consumer price index." Yeah, so basically this tweet was deleted by the White House because Twitter basically told the audience that, look, yeah, it is true that you are getting an increase in Social Security, but it's not because of what you think. It's not because Joe Biden said, hey, we want to give you more money. No, it's because Social Security checks are tied to CPI. It's tied to inflation, which makes sense, right? That makes perfect sense. So again, your checks are going up because everything is getting more expensive, because inflation is going up, which is Joe Biden's fault. This caused the White House to delete the tweet, right? They deleted it. So again, this is epic, right? This is epic. The left's own weapon being used against them. So now we got to talk more about the stuff that's not so positive. Some of the people on the right not necessarily being happy with Elon Musk not doing more as of right now. So we're going to talk about this and some of the stuff that Elon Musk is doing and he's saying, which again is really upsetting a lot of people. And it starts with this tweet right here that was put out by Mr. Yoel Roth, who is the head of safety and integrity at Twitter. Okay, I mean, this guy, I believe, is the chief censor at Twitter, as he announced that, quote, "We're staying vigilant against attempts to manipulate conversations about the 2022 U.S. midterms. Read on for independent analysis of our team's work." Okay, so basically what this guy is saying is that, hey, we are going to continue to censor opinions that we don't like, most likely opinions that don't align with the Democrat narrative in regards to the midterms. Okay, this is what he's saying. And Elon Musk responded to this and said, quote, "Talk to civil society leaders. a bunch of people who basically are from woke organizations, okay, like the ADL, which I believe should be abolished, right? The NAACP, which should also probably be abolished. The Bush Center, which should probably be abolished as well, too. I'm just saying, he's talked to a whole bunch of people that are from woke institutions, okay, that leverage victimhood politics to accumulate power. He's saying that he talked to these people about how Twitter will continue to combat hate and harassment and enforce its election integrity policies. So, again, this doesn't sound like the rhetoric that Elon Musk was using before he bought the company and while he was in the process of buying the company in regards to his promise to make the platform more free speech friendly, because we already know what the left defines as hate and harassment is anything that they disagree with. Anything that we disagree with is hate and harassment. It's not actual real threats of violence, okay, or actual things that probably would be considered, harassment or out of bounds, like, I don't know, posting CP, okay? No, that's not what the left's talking about. The left is talking about if you believe that we should have closed borders, that's a form of hate speech, right? That's the type of stuff we're talking about here. Elon goes on to say, Twitter will not allow anyone who was deplatformed for violating Twitter rules back on platform until we have a clear process for doing so, which will take at least a few more weeks. Twitter's Content Moderation Council will include representatives with widely divergent views, which will certainly include the civil rights community and groups who face hate-fueled violence. Okay, so basically what Elon Musk is saying here is that, look, we're going to try to capitulate at least a little bit, right? We're going to try to bend the knee here, and I'm going to tell you guys why in a little bit. But I also want to continue to kind of show you guys what the backlash is that Elon Musk is receiving and why. One of the reasons why is because he still has this guy, Yoel Roth, who Elon seems to trust. He's still the head of Twitter's safety team, aka the censorship team, in which he has said things that overtly are politically biased. Like, for example, he says, I'm just saying we fly over those states that voted for a racist tangerine for a reason. Yes, that person in the pink hat is clearly a bigger threat to your brand of feminism than actual Nazis in the White House. Yeah, so he says things about Mitch McConnell as well, too, and Kellyanne Conway. Clearly, this guy is definitely politically biased, okay? He leans left. He's probably a far leftist. At the very least, he has Trump derangement syndrome. So people are saying, look, I don't believe you, Elon, because I thought that you were going to fire all these woke ideologues, okay? I thought you were going to get rid of these people, which has not happened yet. So again, you have prominent conservative accounts on Twitter, like Cat Turd, for example. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are familiar with this individual, who, again, is upset about this, okay? As Cat Turd says, Yoel Roth is one of the most vile, hateful, biased Twitter employees. His past tweets show just how much he hates Trump and his 75 million supporters. He thinks we're all Nazi scum. With him as head of safety and integrity, quote, what a joke, will continue to be targeted. When it comes to unfairly suspended accounts being reinstated, it looks like Elon Musk is only listening to the same assholes responsible for the BS and other far left groups who could always say anything they wanted. The only group targeted, conservatives, are getting shafted. LOL, Elon Musk should just go ahead and put Rob Reiner, Hunter Biden, Barack Obama, Elizabeth Warren, Betty Midler, and Chair on the new Twitter Moderation Council. They're actual to the right of the far left lunatics he's considering. I was 100% wrong. Nothing's changing. I admit when I'm wrong, and I was 100% wrong about Elon Musk changing Twitter. The new Twitter Moderation Council is just a bunch of far left fanatic groups who were never targeted here. No average Joes, no real conservatives, no one to represent the people actually targeted. And Benny Johnson says, Twitter Safety Board must have a true conservative or two appointed real champions for free speech and native Twitter power users. This would truly restore trust with 100 million Americans who have been denigrated by this platform. Restore balance to the force, Elon Musk. Elon Musk replied to this. He says, absolutely agreed that the Twitter Safety Board should have people from all points of view. All right, so here's the thing. What is going on here? Well, what is going on here is that people are jumping the gun and they had their expectations way too high, right? Because at the end of the day, what is happening is that Elon Musk took over this company, a company that you guys got to keep in mind is overvalued, right? He paid $44 billion for a company that, in my opinion, has a fraudulent business model. They weren't ever actually really trying to make money. They were more ideologically driven than profit driven. Elon Musk is profit driven. So if Elon Musk were to take over Twitter, right? He spent $44 billion. Okay, he already overpaid for it. He can't just fire everybody, okay, at the company, because if that's the case, the company can operate, right? You can't fire everybody all at once. It has to be done over time. This stuff takes time. Also, on top of that, if you just allow Twitter to become a free speech platform in the sense that he's allowing everybody back on, that everybody wants, what happens is what is probably being whispered to in his ear by the people that actually allow the company to make money, which is the advertisers, which is that they're going to pull out, right? And that is what is happening behind closed doors. That is why you're seeing this stuff happening, as ad giants advise brands to pause spending on Elon Musk's Twitter. Now, if you guys remember, GM already went ahead and suspended ads on Twitter after Elon Musk's takeover.
A news alert here on GM and Twitter. The automaker temporarily here suspending advertising on the social platform after the takeover by Elon Musk. The company saying it's a normal course of business and that it is, quote, engaging with Twitter to understand the direction of the platform under their new ownership. This is really interesting, of course, for many reasons, but one, because Musk himself wrote that letter basically to advertisers yesterday saying, look, we don't want this to be a hellscape. We still want advertisers on there. But he has also said in terms of content moderation, he's going to be a lot more open than the current Twitter management. It doesn't matter for Twitter stock, which is going to stop trading here in the next few weeks.
It'd be different if Coca-Cola said that. I mean, this is GM and also a competitor on the Tesla front. But for advertisers, and at times when we've looked at the social media platforms, we know when Facebook was going through their problems, advertisers have to get out there and be cautious about where they are parking their dollars and effectively where they are endorsing. And so I think it doesn't surprise me to hear it. And when he makes the statement, it's not going to be, what was the term,
hellscape.
A hellscape. Why say that? I mean, the presumption is, I guess maybe it could be.
Previously, he said he would let Trump back on and he would let anyone that wants to become and not sort of moderate the content. You don't want it to be a place full of, I don't know, pornography and hate speech.
No, and so advertisers, as we've seen throughout the last 2 or 3 years, have been very cautious with a number of different platforms to at least be out there and be ahead of it and say, hey, look, we're going to watch, we're going to see how this develops, and we'll make our choices.
Yeah, so that's actually what's really going on here. Again, this is what I've been telling you guys for the longest time. What is going to determine how fast Elon Musk moves forward with his promises? Promises that I think that people got to, again, have reasonable expectations for. I don't think that he's actually really going to allow some of what the left considers to be the extreme of the extreme back on the platform. I think for certain he's going to allow Trump back on the platform. For certain, the Babylon Bee will be restored. Yeah, those accounts will be back. But people got to understand, when 90% of the revenue from your company comes from advertisers and you bought that company for $44 billion, you can't just take over the company and say screw the advertisers, right? By allowing people on the platform that they don't want on the platform, and then advertisers pull out all their revenue. And then at that point, you just bought a company for $44 billion with no revenue, right? How are you going to run the company at that point? Elon Musk is rich, but he ain't that rich, right? He's not rich enough to foot the bill of running Twitter as it is right now without any revenue. And that's what people got to understand. That is why Elon Musk is so gung-ho about this Twitter Blue thing, okay? About charging blue checks to use the platform, because he wants to get the revenue to the point where at least half of it is from non-advertisers. The reason why is because once you get revenue to that point, then you can start to change the moderation stuff. Then you can start to be more free speech friendly, because at that point, you're not as reliant on advertisers. When you are reliant on advertisers, you have to do as they say. If they say, look, we're going to pull out, if you allow this person back on the platform, if you allow this, if you allow that, if you allow things we don't agree with, you got to go along with it, unless you want your $44 billion investment to essentially go down in flames, because that is what will happen. So again, look, here's the thing. I wouldn't have my expectations too high, okay, in regards to Elon Musk owning Twitter and, everybody being allowed back on the platform. I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. But what I would expect is that you have less political bias in regards to stories like the Hunter Biden story being censored, which, in my opinion, you could argue maybe had an effect on the outcome of the election. We really don't know, but that story should have never been censored. That was overt political bias, okay? Also, I hope that Twitter is not as influenced by the government, because we know that the government is trying to subvert the First Amendment through using these private platforms. I think those are the two things I would expect the most movement on and the most change on from Elon Musk. When it comes to, again, certain accounts, like we talking about Alex Joneses of the world, talking about the Nick Fuentes of the world, like, I wouldn't expect much to happen on that front immediately, right? I wouldn't expect anything to happen there. But people got to understand that money talks, and that the problem with censorship is not necessarily the woke ideologues working at these companies. Yes, they're a problem, especially when it comes to small individual accounts that get censored. But the biggest problem is the advertisers. As long as the advertisers are woke, as long as they're left-leaning, these platforms are going to censor in a way that is going to be biased towards the left. That's just what it is. Because ultimately, the goal of these platforms is to make money. That's the goal of the platform. They can care less about, the ramifications or whatever. They just want to make money. Elon Musk knows that with Twitter, he's probably not going to make money. I do think that he bought the company knowing he's not going to make money. I do think that he wants to make it a free speech platform. He probably wants to break even on it. But it's going to take time, right? I mean, it's going to take time for him to actually get the platform to the point where it can be a more free speech friendly platform without actually just straight up destroying the company by making all the advertisers pull out. Because in the back end, what's happening here is the advertisers are basically saying, look, we're going to pull out if you actually do what you say you're going to do, at least in the short term. So again, people got to use some patience. Again, I'm not saying Elon Musk is going to do everything he claims he's going to do. He's probably not. But I think people got to understand what's going on in the back end here and what actually really drives these decisions. And that is the advertisers. It's the money. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.